Hello, myself Sunil R Nair, and here basically we are talking about the uh, one topic, that is the future generation topic. One person told that basically the 20 percentage global warming issue basically are responsible for the earthquakes also. Then he told that basically 100% basically earthquake basically is also responsible for that basically. So here basically one person told that basically who basically takes the responsibility. Then one person told that basically this each and every control basically companies basically takes. They say that basically we have done this. For example, one company told that basically our sales is too much basically. Another company told that our sales basically is less. And they told that basically this person is responsible for the sales less. Then they basically gets the power that basically you can do one thing, you can give earthquake in that city basically, and tell them basically this company is responsible. Like this basically their sales basically get effect. These all are basically big level effect, big level sales basically. Like big people basically do this type of sales. For example, Mumbai city basically the big rich people basically say that basically we are basically doing up to this level sales basically. But in real, basically, what is that is this only each and every global warming issue basically, because they have invested the money in this each and every sector basically. They have invested the money in the niche. If anybody will say that we will finish the entire education sector and we will finish the entire schools, everything basically, then just see basically what are the things, because 600 700 crore people are connected with this education sector. And currently basically how many school basically might be open, and how many colleges basically might be open. Then he told that it's correct. If anybody like Kashmir, basically people will say that we are going to finish this school basically. Then basically that type of thing basically in India basically don't doesn't happen basically. In India basically that type of thing basically never happens. That basically they basically say that basically we are basically ready to get the earthquake basically, but we will not finish the education sector basically, because we lots of financial institute are there basically, they are also connected with the education sector, because they give finance to that particular education sectors basically, like colleges, schools basically, they literally give the finance basically. They literally basically give the finance and then basically say that basically we are basically selling the resources. They literally hire the resource basically. Like for example, that chartered accountant one person is basically there. That person basically got the certification of chartered accountant. His human generation basically started. His human basically body basically started generating the human needs. Then basically he was hired from the one of the medical industry basically. But how basically they hired basically, they can't directly hire na? In between basically some groups are basically there who are basically spending the money for that particular students basically. So that are basically the finance institute basically. So they will basically get activate, and then basically they will start try to basically stop the this basically incidents which is which might basically happen, like same the Kashmir basically happened. In Kashmir basically 50% school basically and colleges 25% are already finished. Who finished that basically we don't know. That basically a totally different. That means basically they know basically that this 20 percentage global warming issue is there basically. They basically has tracked this. Then one person told that basically how basically they can track here. Basically in Jammu Kashmir basically there is no education sector only basically. Then basically few people say that few old basically the political people they basically most are basically staying in Jammu Kashmir. Old basically. Then he told that basically that means that means basically they basically know how the basically India is created, how basically Hindustan is created, how basically the rest of world is created. But they don't speak anything basically. They don't speak basically anything basically, because somebody group have basically told that basically don't speak basically. And one person says that basically you speaks basically you don't speak. One of the person basically told to Kashmir people, you don't speak or what? Then he told that basically we are speaking, this 50 percentage school are basically finished. This 25 percentage colleges are finished. This basically is not speak. Then he told that. Oh, that's mean that like this basically you speak. Then Kashmir people told that yes, basically we speak like this only. That's basically each and every country basically say that basically we have their our own style basically we speak like that basically we basically speak like that. Then one of the Israel person basically told that basically do you know basically how the Gaza basically. Then they basically told that yeah basically like this we skip we speak basically. Then one of the Gaza person told that basically we have basically not started off speaking yet. Like this basically each and every country basically say that basically we are speaking like this, we are speaking like that. Like this basically things are basically ongoing. But basically everything is to cover up what basically. Everything is cover up to save that particular education sector basically. So just see basically how big investment basically has done by the certain institute basically, sorry the financial institute basically, who basically say that basically we have invested lots of money, and then basically we have invested lots of money basically in the education sector basically. We have invested lots of money in the education sector basically. We have invested lots of money in the education sector basically, and we are basically old, very old people basically. We basically say that we have basically expect basically like this basically lots of people come in front also basically and say that basically we due to we basically due to we this thing basically is happening like this basically the education sector basically is working basically like this the education sector is basically working like this the education sector basically is working. And Kashmir basically people say that basically we don't want the education sector basically. Don't want the education sector basically. We were finishing the education sector only basically. So 50% school basically they literally finished. They basically finished the school only basically. They told that basically we will create the entire education sector again basically. Then basically one of the person basically told that watch this Sunil R Nair's video basically. If you are finishing school also, then also the nothing is going to happen. Then he told that how basically. Then basically he basically watched a Sunil R Nair's video, and then basically he told that oh basically it's like that basically. That means actually if you don't want to finish this basically because hundreds of syllabus basically are coming for where basically which are energy basically are giving that school education basically. That means each and every education sector basically are connected with set of energies basically. So that energy basically are connected to a certain cities basically. Then they told that basically by school finishing school also basically our problem is not getting solving. Then but they one of the person basically told that basically we basically know that basically the education sector basically are 20 percentage global warming is basically is connected with the global warming. So we basically are not responsible for that 20 percentage basically. If basically world will get and basically the at least basically Kashmir will not end 100% basically. Kashmir will not end 100% basically because we have already finished that basically 20 percentage error basically. Then basically the education industry basically told that basically it's very serious matter here. Then the finance industry basically told that basically we have invested the money here. Basically, we can't basically take this money loss basically. We are basically creating the future basically of the education basically. We are giving the resources to the each and every banks, each and every school, each and every schools, each and every colleges, each and every software companies. We are giving the resource basically, and for that basically we have spent lots of money basically. How you can say like this basically? Like literally basically the finance institute and the people basically started fighting. How basically you can say that basically the education sector is basically 20 percentage people are basically 20 percentage population sorry pollution basically as of the global warming is from the education sector. Like this basically the literally the fight started, verbal fight basically, and this basically mostly converts to the verbal fights basically mostly converts to the physical fight. That basically everybody knows because if the solution is not getting founded. So one of the person told that basically it's very dangerous. Yeah, education sector basically is very dangerous. Then one of the person told that basically, do you know who are basically the old businessmen basically? He told that basically Reliance is there, Tata groups are there, Mittals, Airtel basically groups are there. Then basically the Birla groups are there. Birla groups are there. Then basically the Adani groups are there. Adani groups basically are big businessmen. Basically, they don't invest basically in the money. Basically, where basically laws are basically there. So, but their basically money is too much in education sector basically. Because if one person told that basically they have invested in this education sector, they Adani basically have invested in that education sector. So, but they invest basically blindly. Basically, few people says that also. Basically. They don't inquire, but they said that basically they are basically salhakar. Basically, the people who give the opinion. Basically, they basically say that basically that's our future. Basically, plan. Basically, we are investing. Basically, that means that does not mean that basically currently if we are going to get lost, that does not mean that future. Basically, we are going to get the loss. We basically get cover up with the each and every loss. Basically, we get that basically Adani groups opinion. Basically, group says basically that are basically the salhakar. Basically, the people who give the suggestion. Basically. So they told that basically we know basically this was 20 percentage basically thing basically you are talking basically. We all know those we basically are highly qualified people basically. Then one person told that you are also basically into this 20%. Then they basically told that they basically not told anything. You are also in this 20%. Then they basically told that no. Actually they literally not told anything basically. Then like this basically the IITs basically IIM basically groups basically told that basically no basically we are like this basically lots of people says that for few time basically the education sector basically was also closed basically. Do you know basically that when basically that corona basically when it came na basically that time basically you don't know basically each and every colleges schools basically were closed. Each and every company basically was closed. That you don't know basically. Yeah, basically that we know basically that day basically how we can forget basically that day basically we can't forget. Yeah, how basically the each and every college is basically were closed literally basically. Then basically how many people basically tried that you know basically. Yeah, basically, I know. We basically tried to solve that 20% basically. Few people says that basically. We basically tried to solve that 20% basically because it's too much. But then also the problem is not getting solved. Then basically what we do? We tell basically. Then one person basically when the American basically one of the American health minister basically told that you tell basically what should we do. Then one of the Kashmir basically this basically is debate is ongoing. Then when one of the Kashmir basically person told that basically we have finished the 50% school basically. Then other person basically the basically who basically has watched this video Sunil R Nair. Then he told that basically there is no need to finish the school here basically because whatever read basically you read in the books na, that basically are connected with the set of education the set of energy basically sector. They are basically sending the energy basically. For example, 1 to 12 students, then colleges basically BA, BCom, MCom basically MBA, MBA, MBBS, MD. Like this basically this whole energy basically are getting from the certain level of place basically where the university has done the tie-up basically. Whenever they fill the university form basically that this is the university form basically we are going to start the university in this location. We are going to get the energy from that particular location where the government is basically done the tie-up basically. So this is basically these are the area basically from where you are going to get the education. Sorry, going to get the energy level data. Basically. You can say that is the education, the energy education. Then they told that basically, yeah, literally basically. We are 100% correct. So like this basically debate like started they like this basically like this they told that basically there was no need to finish the schools basically. Yeah. There was no need to finish the colleges basically. Then one person told that basically if we have watched this video that would be fine basically. Then one person basically of the Kashmir told that basically we are not basically doing any problem in this global warming basically, because we have already finished the schools basically. You can't say that basically in 20% our contribution is also there basically. Then basically the one person told that basically that means you are thought up to that level basically. That means you are basically not in the Earth planet basically. Then he told that basically, no, we are basically in the Earth planet, but we are not contributing in this 20% basically. That we are told. That means if you are basically getting any problem, that means you are going to finish that area only basically. Then they told that basically no, basically we are not basically going to finish that area basically, but there was no option. We have basically already escalated this issue to the health department of the world. Then basically no answer basically somebody has given. Anybody has not given the answer basically. Then what should we basically do? Because lots of earthquakes basically are happening in the Kashmir. Lots of basically natural disaster basically happening in the. Then one of the basically the people who are basically in the zoology department, they told that basically these all are the problem basically. Then they told that basically this area is problem, that area is problem. Then basically told that basically why this area is problem. Then basically literally tracked that basically each and every area. Then they basically told that basically this education sector, na, that basically 20 percentage error is basically there in the education sector. 20 percentage error is in the education sector. 20 percentage basically error is in the education sector. Then he told that 20 percentage error in the education sector. Then he told that basically, well, let's basically we have the meeting basically with the big rich people basically, and the banking industry and the finance industry basically, who says that basically we are basically investing that money, and that 12 lakh crore basically dollar, that is also basically we are going to invest only basically. Then one person basically was taking care of that 12 lakh crore dollar basically. He told that basically we no, we don't want to waste the 12 lakh crore basically. We don't want to waste the 12 lakh crore basically. We basically will first find out the solution basically, then only we are going to invest in the certain money like this basically. They told that basically for when the corona time basically was came basically, that time basically they have stopped the investment also basically. The literally basically the construction was basically stopped. Then basically one person told that problem is solved. Then he told that no, basically still problem is not solved. He basically tried to find out basically entire universe is not supposed to get effect. So basically he basically told that basically in corona basically also we tried to solve the problem basically, but it was not solved. Nothing basically happened, was lots of people basically died, and then slowly basically this converted into the verbal communication converted into the war basically. And this basically few people says that basically Gaza and Israel is a personal war basically. Then they converted that war into the personal war basically. Ukraine Russia was a personal war basically. Like this also basically the story basically came into the picture. Because issue is that actually the real issue is that basically 20 percentage. But they are basically converting that issue into this 20, this personal war basically. Then they basically given the name as a personal war. Then they basically given the war into personal war basically. But still the 20 percentage error basically is still there basically. Then he told that basically yes, still the error basically is there. Then the one of the universe group basically some they basically try to talk to universe person basically, that let me basically talk to the universe person basically. Let we basically talk to universe person basically. Then he told that basically universe person basically if you talk then they will going to just do one thing basically, they are going to pass the earth planet into certain direction basically. Then the entire earth basically will get disappear just within second. In this basically not a single bank institute bank group basically, even the big banks like ICICI bank, HDFC bank, World Bank basically, they also basically will say that now basically what we can do here, literally basically there would not be any World Bank also is going to exist. Because nothing is going to exist now when the earth planet is going to move that side basically. And mostly a few people basically say that this is 100% going to happen. That's why basically then Kashmir basically they finished the 50% school, finished the 25% colleges basically, which is currently ongoing. No, they told the basically currently which was ongoing. Then what about the students basically who want to get the education, who want to do the jobs in companies basically? What about that people basically? Then he told that you are correct. You are 100% correct. Then basically the Kashmir people say that basically we are leaving Kashmir basically. We are leaving Kashmir and we are going to settle in some other country basically. Sorry, few says that basically we are going to settle in India only basically. We people says that we are leaving the people who is having the money basically, they say that basically we are leaving the in Kashmir only basically. Like this basically the Kashmir divided into many countries. But the problem is solved. No, basically the problem is still basically. Then basically one person told that basically yeah basically what should we do? Should we start the third world war basically? Third world war. If we start the third world war basically, then basically just imagine basically in Mumbai basically how many basically investment has done basically. If basically India will jump into the third world war, tall buildings are there basically. Just see basically the Bangalore city basically how basically the IT sector basically has been converted into big basically mega IT park basically how basically this basically thing basically is going to work. Then basically one of the person told that basically in Gaza also big IT park was there basically. In Gaza basically big buildings were basically there. Big malls also basically were there. That basically is finished. Somebody told like this also basically. Then basically one of the investor of the India basically told that basically no basically we can't start the third world war. Yeah, basically lots of investment basically has done. Lots of software company basically has invested basically. We are literally told that basically invest here, invest here, invest here, so that basically in future basically world war will start basically. Then this company will be at least be there to stop the third world war basically. In this basically we have taken lots of god family investment also. Like told that temple to do the investment. So like this Balaji temple done the investment. Like this basically the Venkatesh God basically done the investment. Like this basically the Jesus Christ group basically have done the investment in the Bangalore city. Then basically laterally we have taken this type of investment plan also basically. Like this we have taken this investment plan also basically. Let me see basically who will basically is going to start the third world war. We have basically taken lots of investment backup plan also basically. Like this basically in future anybody will say that basically we have done the we want to do the investment, sorry we want to do the war basically, then each and every community investment basically has also done basically. Like this up to what the plan basically Indian investment basically investor basically has done this. Indian Finance Institute basically has done this. Like this up to this level basically we have thought. Because in India basically people say that basically we believe in God basically, we trust in God basically, so that's why basically nobody will is going to start the world war basically in India, because we believe in God basically. They say that basically literally basically we believe in God basically, that's why basically we have taken the God investment also. Like this Balaji temple basically investment has taken, Sai Baba Shirdi Sai Baba investment has taken. Like this the Venkatesh God basically investment has taken basically. Swami Narayan God investment has also taken. Like this many basically temple basically investment has many mosque investment basically has taken, many church investment basically has taken. Like this many Jain investment also basically has taken. Like this basically we are not going to jump into the war basically. We will basically let the world basically move to that direction and let the entire world basically end basically, but we are not going to start the war basically. Then basically then one person told that that means due to you or India basically investment basically we will finish our investment basically. Like this basically the war started between India also. Like this basically the Indian supporters basically America, Europe basically Italian people basically they also basically jumped into this conversation, and they basically told that basically you can't talk like this with Indian people basically, sorry Indian investor basically, Indian investor group basically, you can't talk like this, you can't talk like this basically. That basically how you can say that basically this big investment basically the big infotech park basically has been created in the Bangalore, big financial institute basically have done the investment in this each and every city basically, how they basically are going to destroy their investment basically. Each and every house basically has been created, big bungalows basically are created in the Bangalore, in the Vadodara city, in the Gujarat, in the Gandhinagar, just see basically up to what level big infotech park basically has been created. Like this basically how you can say that basically jump into the third world war basically. We have created lots of groups also basically who basically say that basically keep peace, like Brahma Kumari groups are there basically, like these Patanjali groups are there basically. We have created it basically, literally we have created basically these all things because we want to do the future plan basically. We want to do the future plan so that basically our investment basically is not supposed to go into water. Like this we have done the lots of investment basically. How basically you can say that let's jump into third world war. No, basically we are not going to jump into the third world war. How you can say that? How basically you can say that basically how basically you can say that we are jumping into third world war because Kashmir basically people so says that basically we are not part of India basically. We are not basically part of India. Few people says that we are part of India basically. Few people say that we are not part of India. Then one person basically asked that the 50% school basically has ended, the 25% college basically has ended. Who basically ended that basically? Then basically they told that basically let me basically this basically police group basically might be knowing that basically who actually ended that. Police group says that we have not ended. We have not ended that basically. Police group literally told that directly basically. We have not ended. Lots of people say that without police permission basically how that basically happened. Then one person said that no, we basically are not ended. I think you are telling wrong thing to the police department basically. Police department never basically do this type of crime basically. We are not mafia groups basically. We are police basically. We have got the dress basically from the government basically. We have got the dress from the government basically. Literally, we have got the dress from the government. Then how basically we can finish the 50% school, 25% colleges basically? That is your wrong opinion basically to finish the college and finish the uh, schools basically. That also basically somebody told that basically you are basically giving the wrong opinion basically. You are basically giving the wrong opinion. Then basically a few people says that then basically this Gaza and Israel people are mad basically they are fighting. The Russia and Ukraine people are mad. You want to say that Russian groups basically are mad? You literally want to say like this basically directly. Ukraine people are mad. Russia people are mad. You want to say that? Then basically one of the Russian people basically told, no, we are not mad basically. Who told that basically we are mad basically? Then one of the basically the Indian person is telling that we are not going to jump into war basically. We are going to try to find out the solution basically. That 20% global warming, which is global that 20% global warming error basically is from the education sector. We are going to find out the error basically. We are not for that basically. We are going to debug each and everything basically from where the actually education sector basically started. That is basically the A B C D basically it's in the universe basically 1 2 3 4 number basically from 1 to 9 basically 1 to 10 basically numbers basically are in universe basically up to that level basically we are going to diagnose basically for that basically we have lots of people basically in the universe also basically like Aryabhat group basically Aryabhat families are basically there here. How basically we can start the war basically? Then basically Aryabhat family also came like this they told them basically yeah basically you are correct basically education is basically like this the A to Z basically and then basically 0 to 1 number 0 to 1 2 3 4 5 6 number like this basically sectors like this basically the characters basically the designs basically are there in the sky basically in the universe basically and they have basically given few names also basically then they basically told that yeah basically you are correct basically for basically they told that basically for a sector for a character basically in the universe basically we have basically created thousands of satellites basically like this they that the person basically who was just thinking to finish the schools basically and colleges now basically the issue has basically escalated to more thing basically that was basically they told that basically we have basically created lots of thousands of satellites that means they want to say that basically they have created lots of planets basically in the a character basically like this basically we characters are the one person told that which character is ongoing basically that you know basically currently basically which character ka production basically is ongoing which number basically the production basically is ongoing that you know basically then he told that basically universe group only by including that universe group only basically for example last time basically when the world was ended that time basically what was the data basically then it was the basically that we have basically that was the time the world was ended completely basically. Then he told that that was ended by universe group or basically the Earth planet ended their planet's fleet. Then they told that basically Earth planet basically will never end their planet basically. Mostly the universe group basically might have dragged that entire Earth planet to particular direction that might have ended entire Earth planet basically. Entire Earth planet basically. Then he told that basically literally basically are basically we got into big trouble basically from small issue basically. From small issue basically we literally basically jumped into big problem basically. Literally big problem basically we have already jumped basically. Then he told that basically now basically what basically is the solution basically. Then basically he told that basically what is the solution basically. Then basically one person told that basically what is the solution basically. Like this the basically the problem started. It was just small issue. Then basically they converted that small issue into big issue. Now basically the Aryabhatta family also basically told that basically we are basically going to take care of this. Then basically Aryabhatta family basically everybody knows they literally basically how they solve the problem. The people basically who are connected with the Aryabhatta family, they know basically how they solve the problem. One person told that basically we were not supposed to escalate this issue with the universe group basically. We were basically supposed to solve that problem basically. Small basically issue was there. Actually we were supposed to solve that problem basically. But few people say that basically businessmen basically their ego basically are very too much basically. One person told that basically, do you know basically you can basically understand that because you have went to 6 time in Mumbai, they have given you job basically. Yeah, basically you are correct. Yeah, the ego is very big, too much basically. The ego basically finished the world basically. Sometimes this also basically was told by the one of the person basically. Ego basically might finish the world also basically. One person basically told that basically we have rejected that person basically. One person told that basically we had technically rejected him basically. So everybody told that basically, yeah, basically he's rejected. He's rejected. Yes, basically he are rejected from the technical side also basically. We are rejected him. We are rejecting him from the technical also basically. Like this entire software industry basically jumped into that basically. And they told that basically, yeah, basically he's not going to get. He's not going to got the job basically. Like this basically entire education sector also jumped into it. Few people told us that no, we have finished a relationship with that particular person which is speaking basically. Then basically you don't have any connection with them basically. No, don't have any connection basically. He literally is speaking this those things basically. How basically we can keep the relation basically? Then one person told that basically he's speaking ekdam 100% correct here basically. Because it might possible that one day Earth planet basically literally suddenly the Earth planet will disappear also basically. That also things basically might be possible. Then he told that yes basically you are 100% correct here. Then one person told that basically what should now basically we should do basically. How basically we should cover up this education sector basically. Because there are 100% global warming issue basically. How basically we can sort out this basically. Then basically one person given one example basically. Do you know basically one new certification was launched that time basically one person basically created one hundreds of books basically, and that from hundreds of books basically the thousands of city was created. Then the that time basically that was converted into some disease. That disease basically killed a lot of people also basically. That also you remember? Yes, basically, yeah. You remember basically. That was not disease that was basically just basically some energy basically, negative energy and positive energy basically. That was just negative and positive energy. Then one of the person basically was watching this one of the person basically of Israel basically watched this video basically. Then he told that basically we are done basically correct or wrong basically. That basically literally he literally told him basically. Because the education sector basically are not connected with the each and here the cities basically. It's connected to that area basically where the education data is basically getting. For example, thousand city basically has created MBA degree. Then he told that basically MBA degree basically might be connected with this 20% global warming issue. Then he told that exactly basically correct, you are correct. So we are supposed to solve that problem basically from that thousand city basically. Not to the we are not supposed to destroy the colleges basically. Colleges basically are not doing anything basically. Like this basically that Israel person basically told that basically yes, yeah, basically we are correct here. We are going some wrong way basically. Then they basically told that basically do we have one project basically which says that basically that this education sector basically are connected to these cities basically, for example thousand cities. Then he told that no basically We basically never thought this also basically. Then how basically we can get this all data basically? Then one person told that basically we have data, but that is in paper basically. For that basically we have not created any system basically, because this is very critical data na? It's very dangerous data also basically. If anybody will know that basically MBA basically degrees basically getting from this particular area basically, then basically it might possible that basically something basically wrong he will do, and then basically the idea basically which was getting, he will connect to some wrong idea basically. Then he told that yes, yeah, you are 100% correct. That means you are going into wrong way basically. One person basically of the Israel basically told like that also. Then that person basically told that basically we are basically not supposed to finish the colleges, schools basically. We are going into wrong way basically. Then he told that basically yes, yeah, we are supposed to watch this video long before actually. This video of Sunil R Nair. We are going in the wrong way basically. Literally basically he told that basically. Then they told that basically, yeah, basically we are supposed to solve that actually problem. Each and every 100% global warming error basically. For example, one person told that basically we have the software basically which says that basically how many percentage of error basically are from which all sectors basically. In this basically more than 20 percentage are basically from education sector. That is the 700 crore people basically. Because 700 crore people basically have taken the education already. Like this he told that yes, basically you are correct basically. Then basically one person asked that which basically education you are taken. I am basically a BCom person here, and BCom person basically basically even basically Infosys basically says that sorry, we can't take the BCom people basically. We basically don't take BCom people basically. That person basically I am. We don't take BCom people basically. That person actually I am. He told that basically BCom people we don't, because one person told that basically you are going into wrong way basically. Yeah. We don't have any problem with BCom basically. You are going into wrong way basically. Literally basically he told that directly basically. He told that basically we are not getting that type of project basically. That's why basically we are telling that we don't want BCom people. I think you are thinking in wrong way basically. Think positive basically. Don't think negative basically. Like this also basically. One of the person told that. Think negative basically. No, sorry, think positive basically. Don't think negative. Like this basically the debate basically connected like this basically. Then he told that basically we will do one thing basically, we will take Sunil R Nair's resume, and then basically we will tell the each and every financial institute basically that this person basically is not supposed to get the job basically. Like this we will tell. Then assume that basically that institute basically are in Mumbai, are in Bangalore, are in basically in the entire India basically, that institute basically is existing. So like this basically this is basically like this basically the energy is going to generate. Just taking as an example basically. Just I'm taking as an example basically. In really basically this is not going to happen basically. So assume that basically one of the finance group basically taken my resume, and they basically have some old enemy with me, and then basically they told that basically we will do one thing, we will basically like this basically he told that basically literally basically he used some bad words, and then basically he told that basically we will do one thing, we will do something basically for that particular person basically, that he will not get the job basically. Then he told that basically, yeah, basically you are doing some wrong way basically. You are basically doing some wrong thing basically. Then basically that financial institute people told that no, basically we are not doing any wrong thing. We are basically stopping that person basically. How basically things basically is talking. We are basically to break his confidence basically. We are breaking everything basically. We will break his head basically. We will break his eye basically. Each and everything basically we will break. We will break his head, leg also basically. We will break his hand also basically. Let's see basically what he speaks basically now. Let me see basically what he speaks now. And few human resource basically group says that basically you don't speak anything. And one of the recruiter basically, one of the basically corporate recruiter basically, means you can say the business development officer basically, he told that basically we can't say your resume basically, because the resume basically was blocked by the sort of group basically, because their ego basically came into picture basically. Ego basically, we will not give him job basically, we will die, but we will not give him job. Like this basically each and every basically group basically jumped into it, this basically, we will die but we will not give him job basically. Literally basically let the world war start basically. Let's the literally basically let the third world war start basically. Then also we will not give him job. Then one of the person basically told that basically it might possible that third world war will start. Let we finish him basically. This basically it's not my story basically, but I am telling that it's my story. Then basically he told that basically we will do one thing, we will give him HIV/AIDS, and like this we will kill him basically. Then he told that basically yeah basically let me kill him basically. Then basically one of the person told that basically, no basically if we will catch give him HIV/AIDS, then also basically it might possible that his next generation will start, and his next generation also will be like this only. Then he told that basically yes yeah you are correct 100% correct. Then we will do and we will finish his next generation only. Then he told that basically how basically let do one thing basically finish his do his nasbandi only basically. Then basically his next generation is going to happen. Then basically he told that no basically now like this basically you have done a very great task basically. Then he told that one of the person told that this all basically energy has generated in the universe basically, and it has connected to 200 300 crore planets also basically. And it will be the perfect time basically. That also basically one of the person told that. So this is basically not real story basically. This is just telling us basically what actually the problem basically is going to happen. Then basically one person told that basically let me one thing basically. Let me basically sort out this 20% education error, and let me sort out this each and every 100% global warming error. Otherwise, it might possible that somebody of the universe basically will, if they will watch this video basically, and they will literally finish the Earth planet only basically. If they say that basically this type of error basically the problems basically are in the Earth planet basically, then basically they literally finish the Earth planet only here. 20 percentage basically error basically from education sector basically. From the 100% is basically global warming error basically 25 more than 20 percentage are basically from education sector basically. Then universe group basically told that basically where is the university and where are the colleges basically. Give me the list basically. Give me the list basically. Then Kashmir groups basically told that basically we have finished our 50% school basically. We have finished our 25% college basically. Then they told that basically that means you know the problem basically. Then they told that basically no basically, but we are just literally basically we don't know the problem basically. But then because it might possible that universe group will say that basically you know the problem, then basically let us the know what actually the problem is. Then basically the whole world will basically literally see the Jammu Kashmir basically, and they will say that you are basically going to say some business thing basically, and you are going to say that what actually sales is. Like, this all thing basically you are going to tell to the universe group basically what actually the sales is. You are going to say tell this everything to universe group basically what actually the sales in Earth planet basically. We are going to say that what actually the education sector, and from education sector and from one person basically you are going to track basically the sales basically. You want to say that like basically like this basically plan basically one of the big basically software company and basically big companies basically have done this each and every sector's plan basically. So you are going to tell this to universe group basically. Then you tell them no no basically we are not basically we don't know basically we are just we have finished this school and basically. But we don't know basically that this is for global warming, this is for that basically, that we don't know basically, that we don't know basically, that we don't know basically. Like this basically the conversation basically reached up to this basically that what actually the future plan basically of the finance institute, and basically who have basically invested basically lots of money, and basically how they were going to solve this problem basically. That is the education problem. That is a 100% global warming problem basically, which is 100% going to generate, and basically mostly basically 100% basically if universe group basically will be watching this video, then they basically 100% going to drag the earth planet to certain direction basically where our planet basically 100% going to. Then basically one of the person told that basically let me solve this problem basically, let me connect to the few my people basically that are basically the big level institute basically big nuclear power companies. Let me basically connect to these people basically. Let me basically say that basically a equal to basically universe basically a character, and each and every basically the characters basically are in our planet basically.